Hello, dear friends. Sometimes science fiction becomes prophecy. Opinion piece, Idiocracy, beating satire, prophetic movie, political stupidity, government of idiots, constructive criticism, lack of critical thinking. Let's start. We have come from nothing to reach the highest levels of misery, said Groucho Marx. It is a lethargic society dependent on someone to think for it, weighted down by decisions of large corporations, reducing the culture and the intellectual development of the individual to its minimum expression. The word idiocracy comes from Greek and means government of idiots. It is used to describe a society in which the least intelligence or the most incompetent exercise a disproportionate influence with negative consequences for society. It refers to a system of government in which decisions are made by people who lack the necessary intelligence or knowledge, resulting in ineffective leadership and often absurd or harmful policies. An idiot is a person short of understanding, conceited, and without foundation for it. Idiocracy is associated with the idea that power is exercised by individuals who are not capable of making informed or reasoned decisions. The term is used in a critical context to describe trends in contemporary politics and culture, suggesting that society is becoming increasingly anti intellectual and superficial. This can lead to a society where mediocrity and ignorance prevail. Idiocracy invites reflection on the importance of education, constructive criticism, and active participation in civic life. It is used to warn about the dangers of apathy and lack of commitment to knowledge and truth. In short, idiocracy not only describes a type of government, but also serves as a warning about the consequences of a lack of critical thinking in society. Movie Idiocracy is a 2006 science fiction film directed by Mike Judge that satirizes current culture, presenting it as anti intellectual, insensitive to nature, consumerist, obese, saturated by marketing, violent, dominated by large corporations, loving of weapons, and fan of junk food. The film seems to be getting closer to reality as time goes by and has become a cult object among journalists and sociologists, and is considered a biting satire of the negative trends of modern society. Joe Bowers, a dim-witted librarian, is chosen along with a prostitute to participate in a year-long military cryonisation experiment. However, things go wrong, and they wake up 500 years later in a dystopian world where natural selection has favored the stupidest, who reproduce the most. Joe discovers that he is the smartest man on the planet and becomes an advisor to the President of the US. Criticism. In his blog, film critic Carlos de la Rosa states that humankind is already living in an idiocracy. He adds the tendency of the big news media to use presenters without intelligence or judgment, repeating the same news over and over again, which turns them into obstinate media redundancy. In 2013, Cory Dudak, in the digital magazine Crave, criticized the popularization of shows based on people hitting each other, which are cheap to produce and encourage easy laughter in the viewer, and that society's tendency towards obesity is pushed into fast food chains overloaded with calories, fats, and sugars offered at a lower price, which leads to a dead end for citizens who work a regular schedule from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and are forced to eat in the street and not in their own home. Apocalypse. Costco $80 doomsday bucket is packed with food that lasts 25 years. NASA and SpaceX present the spacecraft that will take the International Space Station out of orbit. Solar storm alert. 3 waves of solar wind are hitting towards Earth after a series of 3 sunspot eruptions on July 16th and 17th. Its impact on July 20th and 21st could cause geomagnetic storms. Pufness said, "There is concept that much of what is leaked is not real, and therefore we only get enough to appease the masses. The summary of all the funds is already compiled, and if Gisara were to occur, it would be based on those compilations. Still, it is in process, and many hands are retouching it." Geopolitics. According to Benjamin Fulford, North Koreans offered access to North Korea's mineral wealth in exchange for uniting the Korean peninsula. North Korea holds 2/3 of the world's supply of rare earths, as well as 20 million tons of gold, among other resources. Russia has supplied India with more than $60 billion in oil and weapons, and has accepted payments in rupees. Russia is upping the ante by offering to build a series of nuclear power plants in India and supply them with uranium. Excuse me. Russia has also convinced India to create a military alliance with Mongolia and North Korea. Russia will not allow China to bully its neighbors. Therefore, India announced that it would build 12 hydroelectric dams in Arunachal Pradesh, a region claimed by China. This did not come free for India, which has sent troops to Ukraine. Policy. Trump accepts the Republican presidential nomination. Trump escapes second assassination attempt. Milwaukee authorities capture a man with an AK-47. According to the Storm Rider, they want to kill Trump and blame it on Iran. They also plan to attack Biden and blame it on Trump supporters. The Secret Service saw Trump's attacker 20 minutes before he shot. According to Mike Adams, an investment fund linked to BlackRock placed huge put options on Trump's company a day before the attack and would have made a windfall if he had been assassinated. Plan B would be to allow Trump to win and cause economic collapse to blame him. Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano believes that the Forum of Davos would be behind the attack against Trump. According to him, they would try to kill him again before the elections. Kamala's nomination probability shows following report that Biden will drop out of the race. Joe Biden said 3 years ago, in quotes, "I will develop some illness and say I have to resign." Tucker Carlson returns to Fox News with a speech at the Republican convention. Economy. Stocks plummet and the dollar soars. The price of gold reaches another new all-time high. Gold and the euro rise due to the expectation of a rate cut. The stock market is acting as if Trump has already won the election. The enthusiasm for technology stocks could be coming to an end. The fall of technology companies is an opportunity to buy gold, says an analyst. Google announces the cleaning of applications that do not meet minimum requirements. Applications for unemployment benefits reached their highest level since August. The Fed is building the narrative that the inflation rate does not have to reach 2%. They are ready for a cut in September. People will move from stocks to bonds. Inflationary forces. War is very costly because it involves consuming a large amount of resources to produce ammunition. Free trade creates wealth. Asia. A world without China is an economic fantasy. Asian stock markets fall due to technological collapse and uncertainty. The Chinese dump a record amount of US stocks and bonds. Chinese officials expect a bumpy road in economic policy. 5 central banks have interconnected their instant payment systems. These include those from India, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. Africa. Egypt seals contracts to acquire 720,000 tons of Russian wheat. Revenue from the Suez Channel falls due to Houthi attacks. African countries are preparing to join the BRICS alliance, and this can boost their economy and local currency. Ethiopia is the new member of the BRICS alliance and is the second African country, apart from South Africa, to be part of the grouping. Europe. Greece monitors its beaches with drones. End of intimacy. The ECB maintains interest rates at 4.25% after the June cut. Spain. Tourism in Spain is not growing as much, but it is still massive and causes problems. Tourism employment reached almost 3 million members in June, 5% more than a year ago. Americas. AMLO suggests a renewal of the UN because it has fallen behind in the face of conflicts. Milei enables sports corporations. A 7.3 magnitude earthquake shakes northern Chile. A 7.1 magnitude earthquake shook the southern tip of Peru and was felt in Chile and Argentina. Intent to kill Maria Corina Machado, a Venezuelan opponent at Maduro's main rival. The US signed an agreement with Panama to close the passage of illegal immigrants through the Darien Gap. To this end, barbed wire is being laid and naval patrols are being intensified. Brazil will block $2.7 billion to meet its fiscal goal. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.